Hey, it is Friday, June 5th. Early morning here. I'm going to try to make this short. In between matches at the French Open. Got to get back to see what's happening in the second one. But I have a few things I want to talk about, and of course the exciting news around here this week was I am really thrilled to be able to get back to doing reviews. And so a lot of the stuff that is in, we got a couple out this week. One was one I did many months ago for Tom on Adelita, and that was the one that sort of broke the system somehow. But we figured out the problem just the other day because of kind of a fluky set of things. And so that one got resurrected. I don't exactly remember what I told Tom now because I didn't really look at it. But then, of course, we had Anton doing Budapest and Bill doing Harvest Moon. And I really hope, I know we tried to upload something yesterday too. And it something didn't go right, we heard. So we're working on that, figuring out why we get that message that says this is a previously uploaded video. I'm not really sure. Well, anyway, we're looking into it. And but we also might be able to take things out of the busking channel. And so in the meantime, I think I recommended that on the column or on the forum. If you have something in the busking channel you would like me to take a look at, put a note somewhere on the forum, and we'll try to get it moved into the right channel, and then I'll be happy to do it. Because anyway, so I think that was the big news for the week. I want to answer a couple of other questions that sort of happened on the forum, and just tell you about what happened here. Oh, by the way, I do have another proposal. The reason I just went into Over the Rainbow there was I've been sort of revisiting old songs I've played many years ago that I just have never gotten around to maybe doing lessons on. And so for those of you, especially that have my albums, Yesterday's News in particular, or the Beatles album, if you put a post up in the forum as to lessons in there that you might like to see, because I want to get back to some instrumental arrangements. We've been doing a lot of Beatles songs lately. There was one this week, It's Only Love, and I'll get to Dermot's question on that probably a little bit later. But I think it's time for some more instrumentals. So if you have any particular requests, if they're mine or if they're just my arrangements, I really, just before I started doing this news thing, I was looking for the thing I did in a medley with Over the Rainbow, When You Wish Upon a Star. And I, right now, can't remember a single piece of it, like even what key it's in. Oh, it's got to be a minor chord. There we go. Okay. Well, I'm going to try to... for some reason, the song's been running through my head a lot lately, and it's haunting me. Not necessarily a bad thing. But in any case, that's one of the things I want to get to in the near future is some more instrumental arrangements. And of course I have plenty of Beatles ones that I know we've talked about this one. Let me think. What's one I never play? Anyway, so maybe something like that. There are like 20 songs on there, and most of... Ooh. How's that go? No. Let me think here. might take some of those up. We don't have enough George Harrison instrumentals. I did see that. Well, there were some other questions. I can't remember them now. Okay, all right. Enough wandering. So the new stuff we had this week, we had a couple of new tunes. I really want to thank Vanessa for pulling out Eva Cassidy's arrangement of Christine McVie's another haunting song, Songbird, from that mid Fleetwood Mac era, the Rumors, the mid '70s time, and boy, those guys had such a great, I guess, chemistry, but it was very weird at the time, of course, too. But between the balance that they got from Christine's songs compared with Stevie's songs and Lindsay's songs was well, one of the reasons they're so popular. Anyway, let's see. What else was I going to tell you about? So the other stuff that came out, and then we got to look at Sandy playing I Heard It Through the Grapevine, or working on I Heard It Through the Grapevine. This week there's kind of a follow-up to that because she came back this week and we looked at it again, and so we'll get a little bit more of that as it evolves. I think that's it of all the stuff I want to talk about, except I do want to get to two questions that Dermot had that came up with in It's Only Love. The first one is just that a discrepancy between the tablature and what I played, and that is one of those things where I hate writing strumming patterns out in things, but yeah, obviously when we need that augmented chord there, we kind of want to take a break there and not keep everything going, because it's a cadence in there. It's kind of the end of a main section. So I'm sure I didn't play exactly what I put in the tab, and go with what you hear. Go with your heart. Don't rely too much on what's on the page. Make it musical. The other question, though, was a little more theory related, because songs like that use chords outside of the key. So, for example, what was I working on yesterday with Larry? Nope, never mind. Okay, we will talk about this. It does happen in It's Only Love, and for example, if we're in the key of G, we expect to see G, C, and D. But really common are to see specifically two other chords from outside the key, and they're chords from other keys. We've talked about secondary dominant chords, and so in C, if we were to go to A or A7, it would be in there acting as chord 5 of D, and D is chord 5 in G. So the formula, or the way we'd represent that, is we'd call it 5 of 5, and write like a fraction, a Roman 5 or 5/7. If I'm going to use A7, I'd write a Roman 5/7 over another Roman 5, both large because they're both major chords. So extending that to, and I think I've mentioned this in some lessons, but I've never seen. No, I'm sure in jazz this happens all the time, so never mind. But if in G we go all of a sudden to an F chord, that F is probably going to be followed by C because it's in the key of C, and C is of course chord 4 in G. So I would think of that F as 4 of 4. Similar path. Now, if we're doing something like Ramblin' Man, it's in G, but the very first thing it does is go to F and then back, and then we never hear the F chord again, except at the first line of the chorus, I guess. And so that F is not in there as part of the key of C. It's in there to essentially change the mode and make it sound Mixolydian in that case. So I would think of this. I would number this F as the step of the scale that F would be in G would be a flatted 7th, because in G we'd have F sharp. So I would number this with a small flat sign in front of a Roman number 7. That would mean a flat 7 major chord in whatever key we're in. If we were in A, that would be a G. If we're in C, that'd be B flat. If we're in E, it'd be D. And the other chords we'd expect to see in E would be E, A, and B7. Happens in Country Roads, does something similar. Okay, I think that's enough. I do have another really busy afternoon planned today. Maybe I will send you some pictures. We've got some relatives in town, and we have to. They need to go wine tasting in the Santa Cruz Mountains. So by the time you're seeing this, I may have even posted some pictures of some beautiful views if the sun is out up there. It probably is. So that's it for June 5th. Anything else coming up next week that I need to warn you about? I don't think so. Kind of another haunting song of theirs that I really like. Boy, I got a nail problem. I hope you didn't hear the thrashing that my second finger was doing there. Okay, back next week.